Well, good morning. I'm making this video. Uh, Let me just give you the title and then I'll talk more about the video itself and some of the background. The title is Kimberly Rezanka Moved. I mailed copies of the latest filings in my case with PNC Bank to Kimberly B. Rezanka, the attorney who represented the bank in the original lawsuit filed by the Wilhelms, a retired banker, and his wife. Both envelopes were returned to sender, unable to forward. In checking, I discovered that Health First moved into the building this week, and they have several items that were not forwarded left on the front counter. I spoke at length with the hospital representative, and she knew nothing about where they went. They left no forwarding address. I thought maybe she ran away. Wishful thinking. I added that. That's not in the blurb. On further investigation, I found the new address, and I invite my friends to contact Kimberly at 7380 Murrell Road, that's Murrell Road, Suite 200, Viera, Florida 32940, and her phone number is 321-259-8900. She confirmed the adage that lawyers are liars, most, not all, that I expand upon in this video. Indeed, I was going to name her in yesterday's video, and I kicked myself because I forgot, but I didn't have enough information yet. I got some of this information yesterday after I had written the original blurb that was going to be for this video, and I had to make some changes, obviously, because of the new information that I discovered afterwards. Now, one of the things is affidavits. In the court system as it exists now, which is fraud, by the way, it's all fraud. They do not allow trials by jury because then the facts come out. In fact, I never got a trial at all of any kind. In the entire 10.5 years that I've been involved in this thing, there has never been a trial. Never. The whole entire time. Everything is court proceedings, and most of it is not even in the courtroom. It's in the judge's chambers, behind closed doors with a bailiff sitting there. In fact, I think one of the hearings that I had, there were three bailiffs that were actually in the room, but I actually had some observers to witness the testimony. But a friend sent me yesterday, after yesterday's video, a friend sent me a video that I had made on July 13th, 2012, which was right after I came back from the United States Bankruptcy Court where the Wilhelms filed bankruptcy. And I went there specifically to determine the status of my home. And I was assured in that courtroom, which is a federal U.S. court, the bankruptcy court is a U.S. court, not one of the little local courts in Brevard County or anywhere else. And I was assured that my home was not at jeopardy, that the asset that had been liquidated, and I'm fairly certain it referred to the home on Merritt Island, which was unlawfully liquidated, by the way, because there was a condition attached to giving them the power of attorney to sell that property. Kimberly Rezanka was the one who was in the middle between me and that property. And I gave her limited power of attorney with a provision. The provision was that my home here on Thomas Drive remain clear, and they would not come after my home. And I also said that they had to honor the rest of the trust that had been created by Dr. Mary, and that the distribution of assets had to be, which of course they broke that as well. The only one that got the full amount was Sandra Oak in the matter. So, but anyway, it's interesting that a friend sent me the video from July 13th, 2012, which was right after I came back from the bankruptcy court and was assured that my home was not at risk. And yet they continued right after Kimberly Rezanka and I made the agreement orally. She was going to send it to me in writing. She never did. Within less than 3 months, 2 to 3 months, she and the bank were trying again to take my home. This goes back to 2010, folks, because the agreement was made in December 2009 with Kimberly Rezanka. And again, there's an affidavit, and there were follow-up affidavits referring to that affidavit. So there's a whole bunch of proof that I have that, if taken to a court, because they never rebutted my affidavits. They never rebutted them. They made no attempt to rebut them. My affidavits stand as the final judgment in the matter. That's the common law. That's the law. But they are law breakers. The judges, the attorneys, the whole system in the United States of corporatizing everything is a violation of common law, and all of the corporate charters need to be broken. Now, someone sent me, or maybe not sent me, made a comment on yesterday's video that, thumbs up, brother. Please allow me to share the $279 trillion gold commercial lien against the ABA, the IBA, and the Department of Justice. The whole entire judicial system is under a commercial lien for $279 trillion in gold due to its fraud. Here is the affidavit of obligation, and he provided a link for that. If you write and ask me, I'll provide you the link. I haven't actually gone to the link yet. It's only just a few hours ago, and I just saw it just before I started making this video, so I haven't done any further investigation on it. But folks, Kimberly Rezanka and a whole slew of people have been involved in a fraud to defraud us of not only our rights, but of our property, and in some cases, even our lives. Some have paid the highest penalty possible by giving up their lives, by having their lives taken from them. Now, there's a big battle going on now out in Oregon, and the National Liberty Alliance is involved in that. And remember, I'm a member of the National Liberty Alliance, and I hope to become much more active in it once I get this challenge with the threat of taking my property off my back. This weighs heavily on me, which is why I keep talking about it and bringing up the subject. But we need to educate ourselves, folks. You know, it's interesting because the video that from July 13th, 2012 had 4,570 views. Now, it's been a long time. When the ambassador of the Dragon family and I were friends and making videos together, I was getting a lot of views. Sometimes, you know, I have some videos I think that had over 10,000 views. But in any case, when he falsely accused me of lying, my numbers diminished, and you know, many people were on his side and thinking, yeah, Ron's a liar. I wasn't lying, and I have affidavits, and people. Well, somebody wrote to me and said, an affidavit, you can make an affidavit say anything you want. No, you can't. If you make a falsehood, they can come after you for fraud and put you in jail for fraud, and that's actually legitimate because you're defrauding somebody, even if it's the bank. But in any case, we need to contact Kimberly Rezanka and let her know that we're watching, and we need to her other lawyer friend from South Florida, Carla Fajardo, Fajardo. She's the one that picked up the PNC and is trying to take my home, filing a brand new lawsuit not last year, now 2014. And it's all fraud, folks. I see that my normal 10-minute time limit is up, but I'm not quite ready to stop yet. I really am asking you to forward this video, to share it with your friends. Let's get this video into a bigger number than the 2, 3, sometimes 400 views that I normally get on my videos of late. Let's get this one up into the thousands again. Share it with your friends. Share it with the people that are in the freedom movement, that want justice to be done, because it's important. And we need to go after these attorneys and crooked judges, and of course the banks. The banks are the root of the whole problem, because the banks, through the banks, all the other corporations, the things that have been corporatized, the government things that have been corporatized, it's all run through the banking system. And that's where all the fraud is. That's where the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and people of that ilk have taken control of everything through the banking system. And of course, the banking system owns the corporate government systems, and everything is a corporation, and it's all fraud. Corporation is a fraudulent conveyance. It doesn't have to be, but that's the way it has been, especially with the big corporations. The small corporations, maybe not. That's just the way people were taught to do things. But corporations, in essence, are going to become passé. They have no place in a free world. And we don't have a free world as long as corporations run things. As long as people like Kimberly Rezanka can get away and make an agreement with me and break the part of the agreement that deals with me, but only keep her part, which means I still own the house at 10,000, or the property at 10,090 South Tropical Trail in Merritt Island. I still own that because they did not fulfill the obligations of the conditions that were made in the conveyance of that property. The ability to convey that property was conditional, and they did not fulfill their half of the condition, which means that they breached the agreement. They, PNC Bank, through Kimberly Rezanka, and it wasn't even called PNC Bank then, it was another name, but it's been 3 different names. It's PNC Bank now that is the umbrella over the whole thing. But the agreement was breached, and Kimberly Rezanka lied, because lawyers are liars. Now, I do know some exceptions. I do know some lawyers that are trying to do the right thing, and this is a wonderful thing. I have a retired attorney helping me in this matter. Not going as fast as it would if I was doing it by myself, but I appreciate the willingness to help and to try to align me with a Florida lawyer who is honest. That's hard, because it's like finding a needle in a haystack. In any case, I want to thank you for listening. And yes, I know I went considerably over my normal length of the videos, but I wanted to make these points and to inform you of some of the stuff that's going on in my world. And I want to get freed so that I can help the National Liberty Alliance and other movements to regain freedom for the American people and the people of the entire planet. Thank you very much for listening, and